Hello gamers from around the world, this is Boxenberger, the video game enthusiast from Germany, and I would like to welcome you to this week's episode of the World of Gaming. And today we start an hour later than usual, Dutch. Why
Yes,
is
we
that?
do. That's because I was in a meeting.
A busy man.
I was a busy man. Busy man.
It's already pretty late for me now to start the podcast, but
It is. I apologize.
we couldn't move it because I can't do it over the weekend. It's my birthday weekend, so I have other things to do than doing the podcast. So I'm glad we made it today, Dutch. So let me welcome our awesome community. I see already a lot of familiar names here in the chat. A big welcome to you guys. Of course, a big welcome to everyone who listens after the fact, either here on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening. Big welcome to you guys as well. If you do listening on one of the podcast services, you could do us a quick favor and just leave us maybe a 5-star rating if you do enjoy the show. Because Dutch, we have been growing very well on the podcast services. Barely anyone leaves a rating. I think on Apple Podcasts we only have like 2 votes for the rating of the podcast. So do us a quick favor if you are listening there, and just give us a 5-star rating. Takes like 2 seconds, and it helps us out a lot. So guys, thank you, and again a big welcome to everyone. Hope everyone is doing well, and Pyro in the chat already sends in the first channel member of the show for being a channel member for 23 months now. So thank you so much. And he says, happy early birthday for next week, Boxy. Thank you. Yeah, it's Saturday. I'm turning 43, dude. I'm old. Don't feel like 43. Like when you're 20 and you think about a 43-year-old dude, and I still feel like 20. I know my body tells me I'm not, but other than that. All right. Dutch, how are you doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm good. Again, just been working. Went to see the Odyssey the other day, which was fantastic. And I won't put any spoilers in there, but anybody who hasn't seen the Odyssey yet, I definitely recommend you go out and watch it. It's a fantastic film.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, it's just been working and games when I've had the moment to play.
Yeah. Shout out to Pyro in the chat. He just reminded me that we are only 1 day apart in age. So, happy early birthday to you. Good, Dutch. Good. I wanted to say something, but I forgot. Well, we have breaking news, Dutch. We have breaking news.
Yeah.
Usually that doesn't happen so often that we get like breaking news on Thursdays. It's either like Monday or Tuesday when news get announced, or if it's bad news on a Friday afternoon. But this week we do have breaking news, which is fantastic. We're gonna talk about everything that happened over the last week, and before we do that, of course, we need to talk about the most important thing in gaming, and that are the games that we are playing. So guys in the chat, let us know, what are you playing? If you're listening after the fact, drop it in the comments. And Dutch, what kept you busy over the last week?
Yeah, as I mentioned, went to see the Odyssey, which was absolutely fantastic. And then, other than that, I've been dabbling again just in a mixture of different RPGs. I downloaded One Piece Odyssey, which was on a deep sale on there. I've been kind of eyeing it up for a while. I like the One Piece universe, and having an RPG based in that universe, I was kind of eyeing it up, but I didn't want to pay full price for it just in case. So,
you haven't played Odyssey before?
No, One Piece Odyssey. One Piece
Odyssey. Sorry. I was like thinking about AC Odyssey.
No. Because I did download that again after. That's because they've just watched the film.
Yeah, I know.
I did exactly the same thing. So I've downloaded that on the Ally,
Nice.
so I can play that on the Ally. I also, even though it is Rome and not Greece, I also installed Rise Son of Rome again.
Oh,
Um, but on Steam, not on the Xbox version.
nice.
So yes, downloaded them, played a little bit more of them as well, but only a little bit. That was just immediately after watching Odyssey.
Mm,
But yeah, One Piece Odyssey, which is actually a really cool JRPG. It is fully Japanese though, because they got the original anime voice actors to do all the voice acting within there, so they don't have
mm,
an English dub. It's obviously English text, but fully Japanese voice acted,
okay,
which is really cool.
nice.
But the game itself is cool. There's obviously a lot of different mechanics there, and the story's good. So that's been cool to walk through. And I'm still playing through. I kind of paused on Rebirth at the moment, only because I'm like pretty much at the end, and I don't
Mm,
want to kind of just finish it off. So it's like just about to go into the temple near the end. You know where that is.
yeah,
So there's not too much long to go after that part. Um, and then again playing Adventures of Elliot, and just doing like a little slice at a time on that as well. So that's
nice,
nice.
nice. Good stuff. Good stuff there. Let's see, what has the community been playing? The Big Bridge has been playing Mortal Kombat 9 on the PlayStation Vita. Ooh, going retro. We can call that retro by now, right? Um,
Yeah.
and Sifu and Witcher 3, a Wild Hunt on the Switch. Always a good choice to play The Witcher, dude. Have you seen they've announced it's coming to Gamescom? Well, that
Yes.
was known, but they will do the reveal at the Games Night opening night live. They've announced that this week, and I can't wait to watch that, man. Really excited for that. Stormplayer has been playing Denture Tech. It reminds him a lot of the good old Sega arcade game. It's like Crazy Taxi. Nice, nice. I have actually not heard of that game, so. Pyro has been playing Beatdown City Survivors, and he 300%ed Vampire Survivor, and he's playing the Final Fantasy Remake Integrate. Since he just picked up Rebirth last week. I mean, Final Fantasy, awesome game, awesome games. Luke has been playing Doom Revelations and finished that, and Lego Batman, and so now he's going through Black Flag. Very, very good. And
Nice.
also a little Dench attack. Nice, nice. Good stuff there. I've been playing Black Flag myself, Dutch. I'm almost through.
Yeah.
I've been playing that like crazy, super addicted. It's just really, really good. It. I mean, I've played Black Flag when it came out. What 13, 14 years ago, and I remember enjoying it, but I don't remember enjoying it that much like I do enjoy the remake now. It's just fantastic, man. Lots of side stuff to do. They've added a lot of cool side quests, and not just these fetch quests, but like real side storylines that take you like 2-3 hours to play through, with really good missions around Blackbeard, and I'm having a blast with that. But I'm almost done. I think I've upgraded my ship now to the maximum. Done almost all of the side stuff, at least the side stuff I want to do. Like I don't do like the collectible stuff, and so. But yeah, and I'm pretty much finished with the main story, so I'm definitely gonna finish that over the weekend. Um, Besides that, I have not been playing that many games because I really spent like 40 or 50 hours in Black Flag already. Um, Probably even a bit more. I need to look that up. But of course, I've tried the new back compat feature. but we'll talk about that a little later in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's mainly been Black Flag for me. Yeah, good stuff there. Good stuff.
Nice.
Hertog Win in the chat has been 007. Nice. Really good. Really good game. It's up there. It's up there in my contender for game of the year. 007. First slide. So far, I have like Crimson Desert in there and 007. Maybe I put Black Flag in there, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of putting remakes into the list of game of the year. But yeah, Crimson or pardon me, Crimson Desert or 007 so far for me. What would be your choices so far for game of the year as a contender?
I'm trying to think of the games that I played that came out this year that I've enjoyed this year. It's a tough one, to be fair. I haven't really played that many big AAA games this year that I haven't already played. I'm trying to think of them.
I mean, a lot of people bring up Resident Evil, which would
Yeah, I
be a
haven't
fair
played that.
choice. Yeah, you haven't played that, right?
Nope.
You've been playing a lot of old stuff, dude.
Older things, I know. That's my... Apart from
Yeah,
Adventures of Elliot, I mean, unfortunately, I think that's probably about it at the minute.
yeah.
But that's because I've just been diving into loads of old JRPGs, and that's where my headspace has been at. So
Yeah.
yeah. But there's lots of games coming up, so there's still time to change
Yes,
that.
absolutely. Lots of stuff coming. I mean, Halo is next week, right?
Yes, Halo is next.
Next
Halo is
week.
next indeed.
I mean, if
Yep.
you have bought the early access, it starts tomorrow, right? For everyone else, it's next week. I haven't bought the upgrade to the deluxe edition. I can wait a couple of extra days because I still want to finish Black Flag, and I won't be playing that much over the weekend anyway. Again, birthday weekend, so other things to do. And so I decided I can wait till next week. But yeah, Halo's coming. Then this week they also announced the Gamepass drops for August. There was like Beast of Reincarnation in there. I totally forgot about that game.
Yep. I think I'll pass on that one though. I think it's more of a Soulsy game.
I don't think so. That it's really soulsy. It is. There was this one indie game with the fox. I'm blanking on the name right now, and I have a feeling like that's that. You know, so I might check it out because it comes out early August. Because Halo, let's be real, I'm looking forward to it, but we will be finished after 12-ish hours with that or so. And maybe I'm gonna check that out. I mean, it's in Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
But the fact is, right? They advertised that heavily at the beginning of the year when they put it in the developer direct in January, and then we all forgot about it because we haven't heard anything. There's no marketing, and it comes out like in a 1.5 weeks or so. Kind of weird. Kind of weird. All right, Dutch.
Yeah. Very weird.
All right. Let's get into some news. We had breaking news about 2 hours before we start the show. Maybe 3 hours before we started the show. Matthew Balls announced that, and they posted a blog post on a blog post. What's it called? The platform that they are where they post things on the official Xbox blog. Well, there is a free tier for cloud streaming coming.
Yep.
You can stream your games that are in your library. It will only work for now, as it starts to be in the insider program. It only will work for selected games, but the list is quite long. You can stream them for free, no subscription or anything needed.
Yeah.
But you have to watch an ad first. It is an ad supported option. He posted this. Let me just briefly read his post so we are all on the same page. Today, Xbox will begin a public test that enables Xbox insiders to stream select games from their library at no added cost and with no subscription required through a new ad-supported option. Our overall goal is simple: to give players more affordable options to play. The goal of this public test is to see how players use ad-supported streaming and listening to their feedback. As we experiment, we want to be clear about the principles we hold for ad-supported experiences. We start with the player. Ads should create value. We do not interrupt the flow of gameplay. We hold ads to the same quality bar as our content, and we are clear about what is an ad. We make sure ads fit what players expect on each platform. So, I mean, if you've listened to Matthew Balls ever since he has been announced, he has been talking about ad-supported services ever since he started. So this doesn't come to me as a surprise per se. It is more of a surprise how fast it came, because let's be real, he is only in the office for a good month, 6 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that is a big announcement. What are your thoughts before I give mine?
Yeah, I mean, we very briefly spoke about it before we went on air. If it's a free tier where you don't pay anything to use it, then they're going to have to fund the servers, etc., in some way, shape, or form. And everybody will automatically say, yeah, this is $1 trillion company, though, blah, blah, blah. But nothing's free.
Yeah.
Nothing's truly free, and they need to make money somehow. So if you're going to be using the service, then if there's ads integrated into it somehow, then that will be it. Whether it be the moment you start the stream, then you get an ad before the stream starts for you to play the game, or when you end the stream, then you get an ad at the end before it closes down, or whatever it may be, however they implement it. But from what I've seen, it's not going to be something that will disrupt the actual gameplay in itself.
Yeah.
So I think it's you can't moan for something that you're going to get for free.
Yeah.
If you're going to be able to stream your games for free without a subscription, then yeah, I've got absolutely no qualms with it at all.
I agree basically with everything you said, and still I do have a weird feeling in my stomach. Because
yes,
absolutely,
it's mainly don't try and implement it into any other service.
Yeah, that's the thing,
Yeah.
right? I mean, like you said, a free option, there's nothing to complain about. If you don't want that, don't use it and pay for cloud streaming, right? Then you have the ad-free experience, and if you want to use it for free, you do it via an ad. I mean, I get that, and there's nothing wrong with that per se. Especially since they've started to implement like the Xbox app, the Xbox apps on TVs pre-installed, right? You don't require a console. You can just connect a controller to your TV and stream through the TV, which is a cool option. And I've always wondered how many people would use that, because if you turn on your TV and then you want to check that out, and you have to pay for Game Pass Ultimate, so you have to subscribe to a service that costs you what now, a little bit above 20 euros a month. Who's actually gonna check that out? And if you are already subscribed to Game Pass, you most likely do own either a console or a PC or something. And then the question is that streaming service for you? So I totally understand why they are doing it. I think he has been very transparent. It's a good communication. Yeah, we don't interrupt gameplay. This is early access, obviously, so to just check it out, and things might change a little bit. And we are making clear what an ad is, so we are not like hiding anything. So it's obvious you're watching an ad. This is the ad, and the rest is the game, and all that stuff. Good communication, all good, and free options. You can't complain. But my inner feeling is that once you open that gate, who's to say we don't include that more often in games, right? Why not put ads in the loading screens? I've wondered that for a long time. Why, especially games as a service titles, these free-to-play games, right? Why doesn't Fortnite include an ad into a loading screen, or any other games as a service title, right? Why don't others do that? I don't know, a EA, when you boot up FIFA, why not put an ad whilst booting it up?
Yeah.
And so far, I feel like nobody dared to be the first to introduce ads into gaming, because it's basically like the only entertainment medium, right, where we don't have ads yet. We talked about this prior to the show. Yeah, Amazon Prime, there are ads. There is Netflix options where you watch ads. Disney does do ads. Spotify does ads, and so on. And so far, the only ads in gaming were on the home screen of the Xbox, right? Where you have like these little ad buttons, but it's mainly like ads for games, and that's about it. So gaming has been pretty much an ad-free entertainment medium. And this
Yeah.
changes now. It's in this particular case, not I don't feel like that's a bad thing. Again, free options. Who cares? If it's not for you, don't use it and you're good. However, I wonder if it opens the gate for more. What do you think?
Yeah, that's the only ongoing concern I think everybody
Yeah.
should rightfully have is let's hope it doesn't open the gate for more, because we don't want that. We don't need that.
No. I feel like
Uh,
gaming is expensive enough as it is,
yeah,
from
yeah,
not just hardware prices, but of course game prices have been going up over the course of this generation. Um, and it is already I mean, listen, buying a game at $80 is expensive. That's a lot of money for one game, right?
yeah,
I'm gladly paying that. But if I now also have to feel like, okay, having ads in there when I'm already paying that much money,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Again,
Like I say, as long as they keep it just the simple free version and they never ever bring it to anything else, then so be it.
yeah, then so be it. If it's just that, I don't use cloud streaming anyway. And even if I would, I still would have like Game Pass subscription, so I could use it ad free. I would like, I don't mind it in this particular way. It's just a bigger picture, right? I don't know
Yeah.
how you guys in the chat feel about that. You worried about that? But yeah, other than that, do you use cloud streaming somehow?
Rarely, really. Very rarely will I jump on a game that I can't be bothered to install just to play it a little bit. But that's about as far as I'll go.
Okay.
What
I
about you?
used cloud streaming a couple of years ago quite a bit. I had one of these like smartphone controller clips thingies, where you can attach your
Yeah,
smartphone to the
was
controller.
I got one of them at XO19, free.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get it there, but I just bought it online.
Yeah,
But and there was a time when I used it. Cloud streaming was pretty much in its early stages. Then I know it has improved a lot over the years, but ever since I have a PC handheld, first the Steam Deck, then the original Rock Ally, and now the Xbox Rock Ally X, right? I've never used cloud streaming again. I always have the option to play like locally. There's really no
yeah,
need for me to use it. So I think I checked it out about a year ago. I tried to play a game. What was it? I tried to play Doom, The Dark Ages, through cloud streaming. It was actually
yeah,
pretty good, even in such a fast-paced game. The latency was okay. Image quality was okay. I just played like for 30 minutes or an hour or so to check it out. That was my last experience. So I don't mind it for that it's now in there with ads as a free tier. Again, I'm just wondering if we'll see more. If we'll see more.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Let's see what else happened this week. We have quite an interesting statement from a bunch of analysts this week, because that's the physical debate after Sony announcing they will not support physical discs after January 1st of 28 is still ongoing. Of course, it's already dying a little bit off, but a lot of people still discuss that online, and there was like a really interesting statistic, and this is why Sony, and it just proves why Sony will never ever course correct this.
Nope.
Only 7 games, PlayStation games, have sold more than 100,000 physical copies in the United States this year. Only 7 games.
Yep.
100,000 copies, which is really not that much, right?
Nope. Not at all.
It's really crazy, and it just shows you that Sony is never ever going to course correct that. There's also the fact that after the announcement, their stock price raised 7%. So the market, the stock market, the financial market is reacting really positive to this announcement. And
Yep.
I hate to be the one to break it down, but let's face it, the very, very little vocal bubble on Twitter
Mm-hmm.
is not making a difference in that case. There's just too
Nope.
much money here at stake. It is expensive to keep the plants up, to do disk base. It is always a little extra effort, right, to have code ready to be streamed down from the disk, to install it on there, develop the installers, and so on. And all that money can be saved. So Sony is not going to course correct it because it is so obvious that people do not buy physical anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't. They don't. I mean, we said it quite a while back, and they were
Yeah.
all like, no, if you just go out and spend all... The problem they had, the absolute problem they had immediately was when they started buying second-hand physical games thinking it would make a difference.
Yeah.
And I noticed a whole wave of people doing that. They're like, I'm going out and I'm buying physical. I'm like, yeah, but you're buying second-hand physical, and that doesn't have any
Yeah.
impact on the market at all.
Yeah.
There were already bought physical units that have been resold that neither the company nor Sony see any benefit from. It is not an additional unit. That's a singular unit.
Yeah. And the mass market just doesn't want that anymore, right? And I get it that there are some hardcore fans out there that are collectors that like to have hundreds of plastic boxes on their shelves. I do get that, but there is such a small minority, and there's no way that Sony is going to support that. And I've seen a lot of discussions already going on. There was this apparent leak that Xbox or Asha is now or doesn't want to include a disk drive in the Helix. And let me be clear here, that is absolutely not going to happen. There's no chance a Helix will come with a built-in disk drive. The maximum option I could see, because Project Helix is basically going to be a PC, right? From everything we know it's going to run Windows, maybe not desktop Windows, but the Xbox mode or an upgraded version of the Xbox mode. But at its
I wouldn't be surprised if it was essentially what we have on the Xbox Ally, just refined, significantly refined.
A refinement of that version.
And now that exact same version is on PC in itself, and you can use Xbox mode on PC.
It is, absolutely. And they will refine that a little bit. They have about 1.5 years left to refine that. And it's basically going to run Windows at its core. And so with that, there's really not much effort to support external drives, right? They could basically say, well, you can use any USB drive that works on your PC that will work on the Helix because it runs Windows, plug it in the USB and be done with it, right? I mean, there's a little work on the software side because you would still have to be able to install the game from the disk. You have to have the drivers and everything ready for that. But it would be fairly low effort. Definitely less effort for PlayStation than it would be for PlayStation to support it, because they would have to build for specific disk drives, certain drivers and everything to make that happen. I don't know if they want to do that, but Xbox could just rely on any USB drive that is available out there, right? Will the bigger question would be for me then, would publishers still support that, right? Would Ubisoft go out and print Assassin's Creed on a disc for the off chance that someone might buy an external USB drive and plug it into the Helix to play the game on disc? Would they do that? I highly, highly doubt it. I highly, highly doubt it. So my bet would be here, Helix will support an external USB drive because it runs on Windows. There won't be any games left that will be printed on discs.
Yeah, I agree. And to be fair, the costing surrounding printing of discs these days is quite substantial. People don't think it, but it is. Especially for a 4K Blu-ray disc, it's like $10 to $15 per disc to print.
Nah, that can't be it.
It is for a 4K Blu-ray disc.
Let me fact check
for the size, for the size, 100 gig one, for the size that you need, 100 gig, which is what modern games require as a minimum, $10 to $15. Blu-ray 100 gig disc printing.
Cost. somewhere in between €1.50 to €3. It's the quick Google search.
Is that 4K Blu-ray?
Yeah, 4K Blu-ray.
See, when I looked at it, it was much higher than that.
Yeah.
So now
But
it's not
yeah,
coming up.
I mean, even €1.50 is quite a bit. A big thing, because that's
Per disc.
per disc. Yeah, I mean,
There we go. It depends on where it's being printed. That's another thing. So in the UK, it's between £3 and £5 per disc.
Yeah, and
it really depends where. But it says small runs are £3 to £5, medium runs are £2.50 to £4. Large runs are much higher. But the problem they've got, of course, is if there's only 7 games that are selling above 100,000 units, then then the general consensus is it's going to cost them a lot more.
Yeah, that's just the printing, right? You have all the logistics around it as well.
Yeah,
you have to move it to stores. You have to do a box that also costs
and if you're
money.
thinking, that's what I'm saying. If you're thinking calculator, if
Then-
a game ships, let's say 1 million units at £2.50, that's what, like £2.5 million or more than that.
Yeah, more. Again,
More?
you add logistic costs on that. Then you have to calculate. You will not sell every disc you made. There will be tons of copies left on shelves that will be not sold, but you have manufactured them, you have shipped them, right?
Yeah.
That all comes together. So I doubt that any publisher will be doing it anymore, even if there is an optional disk drive to Helix. The only thing you could say, if there is an optional thing, if there is an optional USB drive, at least you could play your old games, right? Your collection, your library. So yeah, I'm not voting against an external option. I'm just saying, do not expect Project Helix or PlayStation 6, obviously, to have a disk drive. It's just not going to happen. Discs are dead, and the fact that only 7 games sold more than 100,000 copies on physical in the United States this entire year, should be proof enough. All right.
Oh, completely proof enough. It's like I said, it was all a lot of bluster, and you can see that anyway from the off, because it was very funny that no one mentioned. The vast majority of people did not mention anything to do with physical, and all of a sudden, people are going out and buying second-hand physical games for old games. I'm like,
Yes.
if you were that bothered about physical in the first place, you wouldn't need to be going out right now to buy games that were physical.
Yep.
You would have already bought them.
Do you think Nintendo will stay with physical? With the Switch 3?
Yeah, I mean because they've already got a key card system as it is.
They do?
And creating their little carts is nowhere near as diminutive as anything else. I think they've got that dialed down. They've always been their own thing. And I don't think for them...
That's true. But I think even for Nintendo, there will come...
On the flip side, though, Nintendo do have a significantly higher portion of physical sales than any other platform.
Yes, because their online is shit. I mean, listen, about...
To a point, it's mainly because they're...
or maybe 1.5 years ago.
The only difference is, what I will say for Nintendo, believe it or not, the games, even on their own website, are cheaper digitally than they are physically.
Yes. Yes. But that's also because manufacturing costs of a cartridge is even higher than for a disc.
Yeah, but even so, take note every other platform. If you are
Yeah.
going to offer two,
Yeah.
the digital version should be cheaper than the physical version, and the
I
consumer
agree.
should see that. Even if it's only $10, it's $10 cheaper.
Yeah, I do agree there.
Yeah.
But again, Nintendo's online has been shit. Here in Germany, it was only like a year or maybe 1.5 years ago when they changed the terms of licenses to the fact that the games you bought are locked to your account and not to your device. Like when you bought 3 years ago a digital game on the Switch, it was tied to this particular Switch. If your Switch broke and you had to get a new one, your games were gone. That's like that's the reason why their physical attachment rate is still significantly higher. It's because their online is shit. It has changed now to what it is supposed to be, but of course it will change. Take a while till the market adopts properly. All right, Dutch. Let us move on from the physical discussion. Let's get back to Xbox real quick. Because they carried the news again.
Because they're the only ones doing anything.
They are doing it. It honestly, if you're a PlayStation only podcast or a Nintendo only podcast,
I know what PlayStation podcast will be talking about at the minute. Have you seen the Wolverine screenshots of Wolverine?
I have seen them. Yeah.
What happened to his face?
I don't know. I don't know.
What happened?
The trailer looked entirely different.
Yeah. Yikes.
But yeah, there wouldn't be much news. So we talk about Xbox probably for the rest of the show because they had 3 other major things happening. Dutch exclusivity talk. Let's start with that.
Yes.
Earlier this week, we had a very mixed messaging.
Well, we did. We did and we didn't. We had the 2 people that were in charge of the company telling us one thing, and then we had this guy that ultimately shouldn't be there anymore and shouldn't have been there for a long time telling us the opposite.
That's the thing. So for those who didn't see or hear it, what happened? Matthew Ball and Matt Booty both gave interviews with GameSpot and Games Radar. And well, Matt Booty basically said to fans that fans should not to overly fixate on single player games becoming console exclusive because it's not carved in stone. Fans shouldn't expect all the single player games to be locked down. And that is very contrary to what Matthew Ball suggested, right? In his interview. And so there are multiple things to discuss here because first of all, a lot of clickbait headlines have been created. Like Matt Booty said, Xbox CCOs said, gamers shouldn't fixate on single player games. That's not what he said, right?
Yeah.
He was like, don't fixate on single player games becoming console exclusives. That's an entirely different story. But the clickbait articles are out there. That's the one part. The other part is that, well, the messaging has been something else, right? Exclusives are back. We are going to honor the ones that have been already announced, but we know about the importance, and we start with with Gears and Clockwork, and more will come. That was basically also the same phrasing that Matthew Balls used this week again, right? He said, "I can confirm that Xbox has no plans to back away from a return to console exclusivity following the
Yeah.
restructuring. The Xbox leadership believes that it can push towards its goals by reinvesting in its biggest franchises, and that consoles exclusives will play a big role." He also said that yes, large service titles will be multi-platform, basically saying, well, yeah, in general, it is what it is: single players, exclusive, multi-platform, live service titles, Call of Duty and such, right? Multi-platform. I think it is just an old issue that Xbox has had for decades now.
Yep.
Too many people talking, right? Matt
Yep.
Booty's going out there phrasing things poorly. Matthew Ball phrasing things differently. In the past, it was like Phil said the one thing, then Sarah came out, and then Matt came out, and everyone was like, "What is it now? What is it now?" The clear messaging, and it feels like Xbox is back on that track again.
Well, I
Right?
don't. You know, the problem is I don't think they're back on that track. I think one person needs
To just
to
shut
stop
up.
talking.
Yeah. I mean,
Because Matthew Ball's been pretty straight to the point all the way
yes.
through.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
He's been like, this is what's happening. The console and the platform itself cannot survive if it doesn't have exclusive content. And that's as neat as it be. We'll get to that. We'll figure it out what it is, and we'll go from there. And he's been pretty straightforward with that, and that's all that needed to be said. We'll figure out what it is. We'll figure out how we approach this. We need exclusive content in order for games to push the platform. And then Booty's like, "Oh, we don't know if it's single player or multiplayer or did it. It's like, Booty, just shut up. Just don't talk about it. Just say, I believe Matthews spoke about this before, so just refer to what he said.
Exactly.
Simple.
Listen, I like
My
that
bosses already
Xbox is
spoke about
talking a
this.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Don't
they
get
talk
me
too
wrong.
much.
I know a lot of people say they talk too much, but honestly, if they would be silent as PlayStation and Nintendo,
No, I think by
half
talk too much, I think it's, to me, talk too much means there's too many of them talking.
too many.
Yeah.
I'm with you on too many, absolutely. But this is just very personal thing. I like that Xbox talks a lot because I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of people out there that saying Xbox
I
should
agree.
just shut up.
I just think the way that Matthew is able to iterate and enunciate exactly what he's saying properly,
Yeah,
and actually project the correct
absolutely.
points, intelligent points when he has conversations and interviews.
Yeah.
Just leave that to him for those. Booty should be far, far away from giving public interviews on anything to do with exclusivity or
I
the
agree.
direction of the company.
I
If you
agree.
want to talk about certain studios and certain games that are coming up, yes, feel free to talk about Booty about certain studios that he's managing because he looks after the studios. But in terms of platform direction, leave that to the people that are in charge of the platform and its direction.
Especially if you have just hired someone like Matthew Balls, who is so well articulated, who is
Yeah.
so precise in his wording,
Yeah.
and you never have the feeling that he just blabbers out whatever comes to his mind. He's always like his arguments and statements are well thought out. So just leave the talking to him, and maybe Asha, obviously, but that should be it, right? I just don't want Xbox to shut up entirely, like many demand, because again, it would be very boring to have gaming conversations out there um, if none of the companies actually talk, right? We would love to cover more PlayStation or Nintendo topics, but there is just no news, right? We dropped this topic has been basically the only news in like 6 months that we got from PlayStation. Well, besides their state of play, but you know what I mean. There's just nothing happening. If Xbox would just stop talking. Maybe it would be a good thing, and people would talk more about the actual games they are playing. But um, I mean, that's part of being a diehard Xbox or a diehard gaming fan, right? To have something happening in the industry, and if it wasn't for all those Xbox executives talking, we wouldn't have that.
Yeah.
So, a very selfish reason, but I don't want them to stop talking. But definitely, and I mean, listen, Dutch, I still don't understand why Matt Booty is still there with everything Asha is trying to do at the moment, like really resetting the company. It feels
Yeah.
like, I mean, at least from the public people, right? Matt Booty is obviously the only leftover, and he like feels like, well, he's just representing the old Xbox. So
Hmm.
if you don't fire him and want to keep him in the company, definitely take him out of the public picture, because he is just at the face right now at Xbox that represents the old Xbox, right?
Yep.
So I don't get that, why he's still there.
I also personally, and no offense to Booty, he might be a nice bloke in real life, but from a professional standpoint, from a specifically work standpoint, you can't say the direction of the studios and the management of these studios as a whole has been good under his stewardship.
At least from the facts we know from the outside. I
Yeah.
agree. It's very, very different. Sometimes the internal and external reception of people. I know that for a fact, just looking at my company, for instance. Yeah. We're
Yeah.
also a very public facing company.
Yeah.
And the external and internal perception of managers is can be very, very differently, right? Um, I've seen
But
managers
just
that were
the
really liked by the public, and internally they were like hated
hated.
by everyone, and everyone knew it. The
Well,
company would be better off without them, and vice versa. And so,
that's also the problem. That's also the problem. I think someone in Matt Booty's role, specifically for that, you've just hit the nail on the head there. Externally, the public are thinking, how is he still in charge?
yeah,
Internally, if he's a nice guy and studio heads think he's a pushover and can just do whatever and take as long as they need and put
yeah,
out subpar results, then he needs to go.
yeah,
Because you can't,
absolutely,
someone that's managing those studios, I'm sorry, but it's less about being your friend and more about I am your boss and I need results.
yes. And
And I don't care how
that's
well
what
he's
people
liked
sometimes
internally.
forget.
He's not. He shouldn't be there to be liked. He
I,
should be there to get results.
I agree. I absolutely agree. That's what people sometimes in public discussions forget. Even if you take Phil or Esha, the head of Xbox, the CEO of Xbox, it's not their job to be good on stage, to
Yeah,
be this well-spoken guy. It's not even their job to play games. That's not their job. The
yeah,
job is something entirely different, right? It's setting strategic targets. It's managing people, motivating teams, setting the right directions, um, looking after the budget, and all those kind of things. That's their job. And so, in almost none of these we can judge from externally, right? How good is Asha really in her job? We can't judge that. We see her when she speaks about things and gives an interview, but that's not the job. Um, but coming back to Booty, I agree there that from the outside, it looks like he didn't do a good job. Overall, he has been in this position for 6, 7 years now,
yeah,
right? Something like that, ballpark.
yeah,
And what happened? The Xbox Game Studio roster grew massively, right? With the
Yeah.
studio purchases in 2018, 2019, then with the two big um, publisher acquisitions of ZeniMax, Bethesda ZeniMax, and Activision Blizzard King.
Yeah.
The studio portfolio grew massively. But at the end of the day, we learned and found out not that many were super successful,
Nope.
right? Buying compulsion and then
I mean, we
letting
could have
them
told you
do,
that before. I was
letting
going to say we
them,
could have told you that from day one.
yeah, letting them do a South of Midnight for 7 years, spending $100 million on a game like that, right?
Yeah.
Undead Labs not releasing a game in almost a decade.
Yeah.
Fable taking almost 10 years to make. Redfall. There's debacles like Redfall, right? And even Ninja Theory working on on Hellblade 2 for also 7 years or so
Yeah.
to release a 4-hour game, right? And it's that happened all under his management, and it led to the fact that the studios were not profitable, were not delivering the content Xbox as an organization needed.
Yeah.
Not saying that the games were bad per se. I really enjoyed Hellblade 2. I also really enjoyed South of Midnight. But those are not the games an organization like Xbox needs. The studios were not profitable. Everyone was allowed to do whatever they want and develop the games they want, not the games Xbox needed. And
Yeah.
that all happened under his management. And the result is thousands of people needed to be laid off. The organization grew into a management chaos with, what was it, 12 or 13 layers of management. And I'm sorry, but that's his job. He
Yeah.
was the head of Xbox Game Studios for many years. He should have stewarded them into, no, guys, you are not making an Avowed, you're making a Fallout. That's what we need. And we do not need a South of Midnight, as cool as it might be. But we do not need that. That will not grow Gamepass. That will not ship consoles. We need something bigger. We need something more polished. And we need something, right? That was his job. And no, you guys are not building studios where in a studio you already have 6, 7, 8 layers of management, and adding up on that 5 layers of management on the Xbox side of things. That was his job. That's what job is when you're on top. And well, he didn't do, at least what it looks like from the outside, a good job on that. Maybe
Yeah.
there was something we don't see. Yeah, maybe we are. This is could be completely unfair, and it was not his fault. But at the end of the day, when you're the guy on top, that's up to you, right? And by the way, before
100%.
people don't misunderstand me, I'm not saying he alone is the reason why thousands of people got laid off, but he played a big part in it.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, of course he did.
So, anything you want to add to that conversation before we move to something more exciting?
No, I think we've covered it.
I agree. Dutch, yesterday something happened that made me personally very happy. Xbox announced Xbox console backward compatibility coming to PC. And I know it's only 4 games that they have announced. 4 OG Xbox games like Conquer and Crimson Skies. are now from the OG Xbox console are now playable via backward compatibility on PC. It's an early test, right? Run. The games will be supported not just be playable or emulated or something. You can enhance them with certain things, right?
Yeah.
As well, and they've added backward compatibility achievements. Yeah, so OG Xbox games now do have for the first time achievements as well. So there's quite an interesting thing. And even though it's only 4 games, I really like that. Because it is a first move. Obviously, more games are coming. They've already said that this is only a test run. They called it early access, but you don't have to be in the insider program to check that out. I've already downloaded Conquer and Crimson Skies on my ROG Xbox LEX, and it works fantastic, Dutch. I've not played that much. I've played like 30 minutes or so of Crimson Skies yesterday just to check it out. But it works great. It is a fantastic thing. I have more to say on it, but I want to hear your thoughts first. So, Dutch, what do you think about this?
About what? Sorry, or the backwards compatibility. I
Yes.
have not played it as yet, but it's a fantastic feature. I was actually looking up. Crimson Skies was one of them, and I forgot which was the other one I wanted to play.
Conquer?
Yes. Yeah. But that the backwards compatibility is the irrelevant part to me.
Yes.
The relevant part to me is they're adding achievements to
Yes.
original Xbox One titles. Yeah. That is one of the things stopping me from playing some of these older titles because I feel, and yes, you don't like achievements, etc., but I feel like, especially if you're playing older games, super old games, they're still very clunky.
Mhm.
They're old mechanically.
Yes, they are.
So at least you're adding a little bit of fun back into these clunky old games by adding achievements and something to aim for
I
with
knew
these.
you would say that.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So yes, I will now, and I'm looking forward to them adding a load of the old Xbox original titles
Yes.
onto backwards compatibility with achievements, and then I'll go through and I'll have some fun with some old games.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See,
Yeah.
the thing is, I think I've said this on the podcast before. Backward compatibility is a feature I don't use that much. If I'm honest, yeah, I'm not using it that much. I
Yep.
rarely go back and play an OG Xbox game or even an Xbox 360 game, right? The
Yep.
really, really good ones did already get like in a next gen patch or something, and you can play a better, newer version or a remake or a remaster. So things like Skyrim, right? Actually, a
Yep.
360 game. You never play the 360 version. You play the latest and greatest version of it, and so it's not a feature I use that often, but it is
Yeah.
a feature I'm so happy and glad to have, and I wouldn't miss it for anything because at the end of the day, I do have a huge and massive library, and I just like really enjoy knowing that if I wanted to, I could play them all, you know.
Yeah.
Even if I don't, it is a weird thing. So I'm really excited about this. And again, it's only 4 games for now. More are coming. Do you think they will extend that as well to 360 or maybe even Xbox One games?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think they were trying it in the original Xbox games first
Yeah.
because they also wanted to announce the achievements coming with them. So, um, Yeah, I can see them doing that, especially now they know how to do backwards compatibility on PC.
Yes.
Again, the only thing stopping them is licensing.
Yeah, the licensing.
So I would expect to see only games that were published under themselves, or historically under themselves, like
Yeah.
Microsoft Studios or Microsoft Games or things like that. Um, and then the more intricate older ones that require licensing debates.
See, I feel like this is a test run as well for Helix.
Yeah,
Because, again, if Helix is this PC console hybrid that runs actually Windows or based on Windows, right?
yeah,
The Xbox mode that we know now from the Rock Xbox LE and um, well, PC now, which is what we all expect. They need to figure out how to make all those games from that are now currently backwards compatible throughout the OG Xbox games, the 360 games, the Xbox One games, and then obviously even Xbox Series games would need back compat because that would be last gen then.
yeah,
They need to figure something out to do that. There are basically two ways to do it, right? You basically build in silicon to support that, or you figure out a proper backwards compatibility program. I feel also like the licensing issue would not be as big a problem if they restrict this full back compat to the Helix console, because then they could say, well, this is still the console license, and um, at least for those games that are today playable, they would carry forward because it is a console. So I wonder if everything will be available on PC, or if
yeah,
the actual PC um, will still be limited in the amount of games. So there's could be, but I also feel like they are definitely looking to bring in 360 Xbox One games as well to backward compatibility on PC, making the right move, right, to unify this because still with Play Anywhere it has gotten a lot better, but PC and console still feel like two very separate ecosystems. And especially if you're Microsoft, this doesn't make much sense because you basically own the PC market, right? I know there's Linux and shit, but overall you do own the PC market. You have the number one by far leading OS on PC. Um, why build something entirely different for your console and not
yeah,
gain the benefits and in unifying this? So yeah, this is a big move for me. It is perfect to have that back compat on the Rock LE. Um, actually, um, I started Crimson Desert, Crimson Skies
yeah,
on there. Awesome game, by the way. I forgot how good that game actually was. I mean, like you said, it feels dated. It is. Game development, the mechanics, and everything have moved on so much, but it brings up a lot of nostalgia, and it is a cool feature to have, especially on handheld.
yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. To be fair, that's where I was going to play the games as well, just on the Ally.
Yeah,
It makes absolute sense to do that. And obviously, one thing they have added as well is the ability to kind of tweak the graphical options on it and
yeah,
make it sharper and um, higher resolutions and things like that. So that's a nice added
absolutely.
bonus as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, people don't give Xbox enough credit for their efforts on console game preservation. It's
Yeah,
second to none what they are doing, right? While Sony is closing the PS3 store and the Vita store. Xbox just makes these console games available, these old, more and more, right? These very old. It's crazy to think about. We've gotten so used to it that it's just there, even if we might not use it that much. But
Yeah.
we've gotten used to it being there. But when you compare that to Nintendo or PlayStation, their efforts on backwards compatibility, it's just absolutely amazing. And they
Yeah.
don't get enough credit for it.
I agree, 100%. And this is their step towards protection of IP as well going forward, and protection of
Yes.
user games, etc. going forward. This is kind of their step towards that, and people are talking about kind of, oh, what if I own my products and how long they're going to last, etc.
Mhm.
They wouldn't be putting as much work into things like backwards compatibility and being able to still play old games on next generation consoles if they didn't want you to continue to use that item for as long as you physically can
Yeah.
on new hardware, not have to dig out retro hardware to play it.
Yeah.
As we all know, you can't play an old NES cartridge on any modern Nintendo console.
Nope.
You can't put in a PlayStation 1 disc into a PlayStation 5. Nothing will happen.
I mean, Nintendo at least has these emulators for NES, Super Nintendo, and
It
N64.
does, but it doesn't cover all games, is my point.
No, it
Like, it
doesn't
doesn't,
cover. Yeah.
you can't put in these things. Like,
No, you can't.
even to now, you can't play Star Fox Adventures unless you own a GameCube.
Yeah.
And that's the point. Like, this is at least Xbox are trying their best, or at least Microsoft and Xbox are trying their best to bring backwards compatibility to as many titles as possible, so
Absolutely.
that history can be brought forward into the new gen,
Yeah.
as opposed to just leaving them in the past and you having to play on a retro console.
Yeah. Absolutely. Therefore, also removing the friction of actually being able to play old consoles. Because have you tried to plug in a Super Nintendo into your latest LG OLED TV? You know, you really have to go through hoops to do that.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously, 20 years from now, yeah, when we look back at the Xbox Series generation as being a retro generation, retro games, yeah, we will have, I don't know, HDMI 12 ports or whatnot, and we will just not be able to plug in the console into the TV anymore. You still have that friction as well. And all that is being removed by Xbox and their efforts, right? Or you might have
Yeah.
you might have moved over to PC, right?
Yeah.
Leaving console gaming behind, leaving your library behind. This backward compatibility program just brings that with you. Obviously, that makes switching away from the console easier for them, which is kind of contradictory to what they want to do under the new leadership again, by strengthening the Xbox console ecosystem. But for us consumers, that is a fantastic thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Love that news. We'll learn more throughout the year. I feel
Yes, we
like
shall.
Xbox has teased already so much for the rest of the year. They've said we will talk about Helix more this year. We're still waiting on that, right? Backward
Yep.
compatibility. We're still waiting on that. There's like plenty of things we are waiting for, and I mean, the 25th anniversary is still coming up. There will be celebrations there. There will be interesting things to talk about there. There's plenty of stuff still coming for Xbox this year, man.
Oh, there's loads coming. There's loads, and obviously we've got Gamescom literally just around the
Yes,
corner, so
yes.
that'll be interesting.
Although I don't feel like Xbox is using Gamescom for any major announcements. They
No.
haven't really done that in the past, so I doubt they will do that this year. But maybe they use Gamescom for things like, hey, check it, check this out. You can now play on a PC 360 games, right, or something like that. Um,
Yep.
it could very well be. Could very well be. All right. Anything you want to add to the back compat story?
No, no, it's a great enhancement. I'm glad that's obviously it was something that they mentioned a long time ago, and that's what they mentioned.
Yeah,
That they were in the works and bringing the back compat team back,
yeah.
and here we are.
Now you know what they've been working on. And again, I feel like
Yep.
this is just a preparation and a test bench for Helix,
Yep.
because they will have to do something with Helix when it runs on the Windows in terms of backwards compatibility. They've already confirmed everything that you can play now on the Series will also be playable on the Helix, and that obviously then includes OG Xbox 360 and Xbox One games, right? So, yeah, interesting times and good stuff there. Dutch over the last weekend, and I know a couple of people might consider this already old news, but it is what it is. If news break on a Friday evening, we've basically already recorded the podcast for the week, and then it takes a while till the next podcast drops on Thursday. So some people might consider this old news, but it's interesting news, and I definitely wanted to talk to you about that. Is Bethesda announced a lot of stuff.
Yep.
They've, I think, in an unprecedented way, at least for them, laid out their entire roadmap. So
Yeah.
they've announced a Fallout 3 remake or remaster, a Fallout New Vegas remaster. They've announced we are working on Fallout 5. It's in the pre-production phase. They've also announced that there will be more content for Starfield coming. They are, because we or a lot of people thought, well, with Terra Namada, that was the last DLC. Typically, Bethesda does 2 DLCs, right?
Yep.
Then move on to the next game, and Terra Armada was the second DLC. They will continue to support Starfield, and obviously the big main game is Elder Scrolls 6, which is in schedule, in time. It apparently plays great. Is what they said, but obviously they wouldn't say, well, it plays horrible at the moment. um, So yeah, a lot of announcements. I mean, main focus there obviously was the messaging um, of Fallout. With that, they've also officially announced, yes, Obsidian is working on their on a new Fallout game as well. So you have basically 4 Fallout games right now in the making: the 2
Yep.
remakes,
Yep.
um, Fallout 5 in pre-production phase, and the one at Obsidian. Dutch. Lots to digest here and dissect. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean they've obviously after this, especially after the shake-up, they already had their thoughts in play for a while as to what kind of their game plan was and where it was going and so on and so forth. So it is interesting to see um their actual route,
Yeah.
where they're going to be going, how they're going to be doing it, so on and so forth. So it's very interesting to see kind of what route they're taking, what they're doing. It's great to see Obsidian now getting put onto a Fallout game,
Yes.
which has been asked for a long time.
Listen,
Um,
let's stick with Obsidian real quick. This is exactly
yeah,
what Phil and Sarah should have been doing, and Matt Booty should have been
yeah,
doing when they acquired them back in
yeah,
2018. Hey, we acquired you. We give you creative freedom, but we are not giving you creative so much freedom that you just can develop games that you want to do. We need Fallout.
Yeah.
Bethesda is working on Elder Scrolls 6. They are working on Starfield, and they can only do one game at a time. And so we know
Yeah.
that it will be 15, 20 years in between two Fallout games, just like it has been with Elder Scrolls, where it is like crazy that Skyrim is what now 15 years old. By the time
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, we are talking somewhere in the ballpark of close to 20 years in between two major entries. This is just not using our IP right. You've proven yourself in the past. You can do great Fallout games. New Vegas is still my favorite Fallout game. I know,
Yeah.
unpopular opinion, but I really enjoyed Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
And you do that. And if you are profitable and if you are successful, you can do a passion project on the side, but you're doing this because we as a brand, as a platform, we need a Fallout game. And the
Yeah.
times seem to be over where every studio gets to willy-nilly pick what they are doing and doing passion project A and passion project B and double A game here. They are focusing, which is, I think, the right strategic move for a platform holder. Because at the end of the day, as much as I personally enjoyed Avowed, they didn't need Avowed. They needed Fallout.
Yeah.
And yeah, so sorry, I interrupted you there. You wanted to speak on Fallout.
No, it's all right. Like I say, it's great to see them going into that and doing that. The Fallout game. But yes, of course, what you did mention as well is, although the next big Fallout, Fallout 5, is in pre-production, all hands are on deck on the new Elder Scrolls at the moment. So everyone's making assumptions. As like, oh, they've just announced they announced that the new Fallout is in production. And that's not what they said. They said it's in pre-production. It's a long way away. That's not even a thought at the moment. That's just ideas. That's ideas stage.
Collecting ideas what the game could be. Listen,
Yep.
realistically, we're looking at Fallout 5 earliest 2035.
Oof.
It will
I wouldn't
be.
say that far. I wouldn't say that far ahead.
I can't see them doing
9
any
years.
faster. Yeah, bro.
Nah, because
listen, when do you think Elder Scrolls 6 comes out?
28, 29.
Yeah, let's assume 20. I think earliest 28. And let's give them that. They are now under Azure. We have a little bit more pressure and we have maybe a little bit better structure there. And
yeah,
but we also have less people there. Yeah, let's not forget that fact. But let's say 28. Do you think Bethesda can do a Fallout 5 in less than 7 years?
Ooh.
I doubt it. And even if it's 34, if they find some miracle way to boost up development times and speed things up, then we're talking 6 years of development. And it's still 34.
Yeah.
So realistically, if Helix comes out in 27, Fallout 5 will be a Helix 2 game.
Yep.
Will be a game for the successor of the Helix. That's just the thing. And that's why I said earlier, when did Fallout 4 come out? It was also already 10 years ago or so, right?
Yeah.
Really, Fallout 4 release date was 2015, 11 years ago. Well, right, we're already 11 years, and we have another 8-9 years till we see Fallout 5. So we're talking ballpark 20 years in between the two mainline Fallout games. That is ridiculous for such a beloved IP, right? So I've seen a lot of people out there. Well, now they are flooding us with Fallout games. bro, we are so far away from being flooded with Fallout games, right? The last Fallout game, taking Fallout 76 out of the picture here, right? The mainline or proper single player Fallout game um, is already 11 years old. The last one we got.
Yep.
So, and Obsidian will take. Obsidian is a very well oiled machine. They've been very consistent with the game releases. We're not looking at. I don't doubt that we are looking at 7 years of development time for Fallout at Obsidian, but even they need 3-4 years. So realistically, Fallout, Obsidian, New Vegas 2, or whatever it will be. By the way, I don't think they make a New Vegas 2. They make a New London 2, maybe a New Berlin 2.
You think so? Do you think they're not going to go for another New Vegas?
No, no. I don't think that they are going to choose Vegas again as a setting. They're moving into something else. And I think even because considering the lore and all, right? Fallout 5 will be obviously somewhere in the United States. And with Obsidian doing probably a different approach than a Bethesda does to Fallout, it would make sense for them to move out of the United States for once. So I feel like they will do something different. I don't know if it's London or Berlin or Tokyo or whatever, but maybe they move Fallout out of the United States for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going with that. And then, but again, realistically, we're looking at somewhere 2030, around 2030 for Fallout Obsidian. Then you have 35 Fallout 5. That's not flooding us with Fallout games. I know we have the remakes to bridge that gap. And I mean, we remember the ABK acquisition when we had those documents leaked. They already mentioned a remaster of Fallout there. And so I feel like at least one of the two has been in development for quite a while. And maybe, and if they are smart, they will push that very, very, very hard now to release a remake. Let's say Fallout 3 comes first, right? Along with season 3 of the TV show. And then they release New Vegas 2 along with season 4 of the TV show. If they are smart about this.
Yeah. If they're smart. Come on. Come on.
So yeah. Lots of Fallout news. But again, I don't feel like we are getting flooded here. And honestly, they should do the exact same thing with Elder Scrolls. Bro, when did Skyrim come out? I feel like 2010, right?
Yeah.
It was 2010. Or, let me fact check, 2011. Already 15 years. Add another 2 or 3 years. We're talking 17, 18 years now in between two games. You can't even call that a game series anymore, right? People that have not been born yet when Skyrim came out are adults when the successor comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's not really a series of games. And given how much potential a Elder Scrolls has, yeah, from the setting, high fantasy, medieval high fantasy settings are just the best setting for video games there is. And they should give Elder Scrolls as well to someone else.
Yeah.
Right now, they should give that. Because by the time Elder Scrolls 7 comes out, I don't know if I will be alive, honestly, if we continue down that road. That they are switching in between Elder Scrolls 7 years to make, 7 years for the next Fallout to make, and another 7 years for Starfield to make. They can't do that. Give those IPs to someone else as well. I'm not saying
Yeah.
Bethesda shouldn't make them anymore, but let's assume Elder Scrolls 6 comes out in 28 and you start developing right now at who would be a good one. Obviously, always Obsidian comes to mind first, but give that
Yeah.
to another studio as well. If they start developing another Elder Scrolls game, it will still take 6-7 years till it comes out. So that would release 5 years after Elder Scrolls 6, and you're good. But you cannot let those IPs sit on the bench for 20 years in between games. They are way too
Yeah.
valuable for that. Who could make a Elder Scrolls game? Who could they give it to? Man. That's a tough one.
Playground games.
Yeah, yeah. Why
We'll see how
not?
Fable does first.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, that could work. I could honestly, Starfield is something I could see them handing to even to the likes of your machine games or something, right?
What, Elder Scrolls?
But no, I'm saying Starfield.
Oh no, I
Starfield
wouldn't want
is,
machine games doing a Starfield.
I mean, they have enough own IP that they are letting sit on the bench, right?
Exactly. Not only that, but they have zero experience in RPG.
Yeah. But Xbox doesn't have that many RPG developers outside of Obsidian and Bethesda themselves, right? Playground is the only one that is now trying that. Maybe you look for an external partner then, right?
Yeah.
Partner with Warhorse Studio. Let them make an Elder Scrolls game.
Does Warhorse remind me?
Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Uh, but then the combat would be shit.
Yeah, but you force them to make the combat good. And
Can,
everything
can
else
you?
is a given with that studio. Insanely good world building, visuals, everything. Great writing. Yeah, but anyway, I think that will be the challenge for Xbox to figure that out, because
Yeah.
with almost every other studio they have, right, that has these potential system sellers, those big bangers as an IP, they can pump them out in a fairly good cadence. It is most likely going to do Quake next, because I feel like after 3 Doom games, Doom can take a break. It
Yeah.
wouldn't hurt Doom to take a break for 7-8 years now. Let them make a Quake, right? And it
Yeah.
has also been able to put out games fairly consistently, right? In a 4 or 5 year cadence, so fairly good distance. Machine games as well, Wolfenstein, and then Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah.
So fairly good cadence. I mean, Playground games, yes, the Fable Studio is ridiculously long development time, but I feel like a Fable 2 will be done much faster. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they would have shown that with Forza Horizon they can be in a pretty good consistency. So yeah, but Bethesda, dude. And I know a lot of people have said, well, that's because of Todd. Todd didn't want to give away or let someone else do a Fallout. That's his baby, as is
Yep.
Starfield, as is Elder Scrolls. But then the guy can only do so much at a time, right? Especially if he's also involved in other projects like Indiana Jones and stuff. Um, so yeah, they definitely need to figure that out because with Bethesda, with the Bethesda IPs, they really have big system sellers on their hand, and they need to find a way. It's also that we cannot wait for Starfield 2 20 years.
Yep.
That's,
No, of course not, of course. But again, with new IPs, again, and actually, there's two factors to look at here. With new IPs, starting them is always the longest part. With older IPs, creating a sequel is the easier part. But this is also Bethesda.
yeah, yeah.
And they don't do things quickly.
Which is, I mean, the fact is though, when they put out the game, their games are massive. They are always top quality. And yes, that includes Starfield. I really loved Starfield. That was a high quality game. Fallout
Yeah.
4 was great. Skyrim was great. And all their prior games as well. So when they do put out a game, it's great. But again, these IPs have so much potential, and if Xbox is smart about things, they are not letting those IPs rest for 15 to 20 years in between two entries of the series. All right, Dutch. Let us move to this week's community questions. We've got a
Oh, is
couple of
that
good
time already?
ones.
Bloody hell.
Alrighty.
Yes.
Each and every Wednesday, you guys can write in questions or topics you would like us to discuss, and we are not putting that behind a paywall, so no Patreon or anything required. Everyone can write in questions either here on YouTube or on X or through DMs or whatnot. And so did Rave Demos this week. And he asks this: Hey, Boxy and Dutch, does the existence of Project Positron posit that an external disk drive will be offered with Helix? How else will folks register a digital copy to their account without one? Or will Positron be a feature tied to the Xbox One and Series generations? Positron is the disk to digital program that they are apparently working
Right,
with.
okay. I think this will be in preparation for the next gen. I don't believe the next gen will have a disk drive.
Yeah. See,
I think this will be allowing. I think they'll have, if they do manage to get it off the ground, which I think they will. It'll be essentially okay, like not so much keep a hold of your Xbox Series X, but for those with physical libraries, you can start in like installing or putting your licenses on your account now,
yeah.
ready for the next generation. And then you don't have to. Essentially, because it's associated with your account, you don't have to fuck around doing it when the new gen comes out.
I agree with you, but I also think, again, and we touched upon this briefly earlier in the show, that since Project Helix is Windows based, they will allow to attach basically any USB drive because they have the drivers and everything ready. What they do not have ready is to let the games run off your discs, because remember, a lot of OG Xbox games, a lot of Xbox 360 games still didn't require a full installment. So
Yeah,
what I and now they would need to put in a lot of development time into making an API and drivers ready to use your, I don't know, Samsung external USB drive on your Project Helix. Yes, it supports that because it has the Windows drivers ready to download, and bam, it works. But it doesn't mean it can read an Xbox One disc. Yeah. And install that on the Helix, then extract the data. You have to develop that. And I don't think that Xbox will do that. I think if they allow external USB drives, the only way to play those games is through Project Positron. Because what they then basically do is they just check, okay, which game is it? We add that to your library. You can download now, right?
Yeah.
Because we have that ready, that is working, and we do not need to develop to stream the game data onto your Helix drive, install it there, let it run, do the licensing checks regularly, and so on. Is this disk still in the drive? They will not do that. It will be all based on external drives, but the external drive on Project Helix will only be there to use positron, the disk to digital thing.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
And yes, obviously, the smart thing would be if you're a collector, it's time to stop being a collector, move to digital, use positron on your Xbox Series, add them all to your digital library. You can leave your cases on the shelves, but a year from now, nobody will be publishing physical anymore. No Ubisoft games, no EA games, no nothing. I mean,
I agree.
Not even GTA is coming on a disc. There will be a physical version, but with a download key.
Yep.
All right.
So that's what I think it's going to turn into anyway. Yes, you might still get boxes, but ultimately those boxes will just contain download keys.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I could see that being a thing. Because people, I mean, that's what a disc is anyway. It's nothing more. In this day and age, modern games, it's basically a license on a disc. It's nothing more.
Yep.
So yeah. All right. Let me see. Here. I lost the messages. Hang on, give me a second. There we go. Clute writes in and asks this: what are your top 5 most anticipated games of fall 26? Dutch, your top 5 anticipated games for this year.
Fall 20. Oh dear me.
Shall I go first?
Yeah, go first.
Is easy.
You might.
Top 3 is easy. Obviously, Gears.
Yeah.
Right. I'm really looking forward to Wolverine. I like Insomniac.
Mm-hmm.
I like Wolverine. I like the X-Men. So I'm all for that. And then obviously GTA. I'm looking forward to do that. I wouldn't put that on spot 1.
No.
That is Gears for me, but definitely in my top 5. Now the other 2, probably.
I've got one.
Rayman Legends Retold. I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm really looking forward to Final Fantasy Resonance.
Bingo.
That's definitely. I think that are my top 5. There are others I'm really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to play Resonance: A Plague Tale. Cannot wait for that.
Mm-hmm.
I
would love to know. I was going to say I would love to know because dear me, there's so much going on around fall and the tail end of the year that I'm not quite sure I remember them all that's releasing. If I could remember them all off by heart, I would let you know.
That's why I have a list here. I have a list here.
Good.
I can cheat,
Rattle through the list, and I'll tell you. Obviously, Gears, GTA, Final Fantasy Resonance, absolutely.
So we have Resonance: A Plague Tale, right? I mean, of the show coming August 4th. can't say I'm really excited for it. I'm probably going to check it out, but I wouldn't say I'm excited for it. And then there's a bunch of smaller, stuff coming. So the big ones start end of August. August 27th, a Plague Tale Resonance. Cannot wait.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have September 3rd, Blood of the Dawnwalker, which does look really good. A lot of ex-Witcher devs are working on that as well. My only problem is I'm not convinced about the combat system because it reminds me a lot of Kingdom Come Deliverance. And I hated the combat in Kingdom Come Deliverance. And so I'm mixed on Blood of the Dawnwalker. I love everything else I've seen about the game, and it would be a no-brainer for me. But this game could be ruined by its combat system. For me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then we have Wolverine, obviously. Again, definitely in my top 5. Coming. Control Resonant. I've no interest, honestly, in that. That's maybe in a deep sale for me at some point. Then we have Silent Hill Townfall, which actually looks really good. We have Minecraft Dungeons 2 coming in September. I'm definitely going to play that with my kids. We are all looking forward to do that. We've played a lot of Minecraft Dungeons 1 together and cannot wait for 2 to play it with my kids. Then Rayman Legends Retold. Absolutely. Gonna play that on my own. Gonna play that with my kids. Definitely in my top 5. Then we have Gears E-Day on October 6th. Oh, I missed one. I'm actually Star Wars Zero Company. If that game delivers what it promises from the trailers and such, that is definitely a must play for me.
Is Zero Company an RTS?
Yes.
Am I thinking of the right one?
Yeah.
Then no.
Yeah, bad for me. Absolutely, it looks like Age in the Star Wars universe, and I'm if it really is that good.
If it was Age in the
looks,
Star Wars universe, fair enough. But if it's more like an XCOM, like a lot of the RTSs are,
it's not XCOM like. Absolutely not. It's more like Age or Command and Conquer, more in those veins.
We'll see.
That's what I meant. If it delivers on the promises, Star Wars Zero Company definitely.
Yeah.
So then we have Gears E-Day, October 6th. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Galactic Racer, Star Wars Galactic Racer also coming there. It actually looks fun. It does look fun.
That really does look good. Yeah.
It's for me. That's just the thing. I have no time in October to play that, and I wouldn't prioritize it over a Gears or Rayman, and probably I will not have finished Minecraft Dungeons and probably not even my Wolverine by the time that game comes out. And by the time I've played all the other games, I probably will have forgotten about it. It's just one of these games that will suffer a lot from the too crowded September and October. Then we have Castlevania coming on October 15th. I love Metroidvanias. I do love them. So, and that looks really good. Then we have Final Fantasy Resonance coming in October, obviously.
That's an easy top 5 for me.
Yeah. Call of Duty is coming, but I have no interest in that.
None whatsoever.
Yeah, none whatsoever. And the same goes, honestly, for Phantom Blade Zero. I know a lot of PlayStation fans are excited for that, but that's probably because that's PlayStation and PC exclusive, right?
It won't even.
Not because it does look good. And then we have obviously GTA 6 in November. So those are the highlights. And out of those, I think my top 5 would definitely be Gears, GTA, Wolverine, Rayman, and Final Fantasy.
Yeah, for me, and this is just personal preference though, because this is more about having fun than anything else. The only one I'd change out with you would be Wolverine for Minecraft Dungeons.
Ah, okay, okay.
And that's because I believe I'm going to have more fun with Minecraft Dungeons than I
Yeah,
am with Wolverine.
fair enough. Fair enough. Um, I mean, there's also Ocarina of Time coming this fall.
Oh, forgot about that. Well, then scratch that. Take out Minecraft Dungeons and put Ocarina of Time in.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, this is the one game that might tip me over to finally get a Switch 2. I'm still playing on the Switch 1, um, especially with my kids, obviously. But I haven't upgraded to the Switch 2 yet, and this could be the one that tips me over.
What do you mean could be? You know it is going to be.
I could also wait a little and move it as a Christmas gift to my kids, and then just play it on theirs, right?
You're not going to do that. You're just going to buy your own.
I'm not sure. Money is tight. Yeah. Then we have actually a lot of games that are still announced for this year. This is a list of about 200 games that I
Yep.
have here in front of me that are supposed to come out this year. Zelda is one of them, but yeah, there's tons of stuff coming that hasn't really gotten a release date yet, but I feel like a lot of those will be moved out of the year then. Although, let's be fair, where should people move their games? If you move, a Zelda could move because that's big enough, but
Yeah, Zelda can stand on its own 2 feet and still do
yeah,
absolute tens of millions.
I don't know. Just as an example, The Wolf Among Us, right?
Yep.
Coming this year apparently.
Yeah,
So where would
that'll
you
get
move that?
overshadowed.
Because you can't move it into February, March, and April next year. It's the same
I
thing.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think it really matters for the Wolf Among Us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Any game that hasn't already been announced is going to have to start seriously thinking about putting their dates to next year outside of Zelda.
Yeah. All right. Let us move to the big bridge question of the week, Dutch. It's a good one, as it usually is. The big bridge asks this. Greetings, Boxy and Dutch. I hope you have a wonderful podcast. Yeah, we did so far. Here's my question. If you could access the Animus and enter the world of Assassin's Creed, which time period would you like to be in? And which historical character would you like to meet in person? Have fun and remember nothing is true, everything is permitted. Dutch, that's a good question.
It would, to be fair, Valhalla was my perfect Assassin's Creed game, despite the fact that I absolutely despise the Animus and I think it just needs to disappear.
Yes. By the way, Black Flag, no Animus. No Animus.
Good.
Absolutely none.
Because those games don't need the Animus to be good games.
Yes.
The Animus has always taken you out of the game. Especially like Valhalla and Odyssey and things like that. You just get these random sections in modern day where they just talk for like 5 minutes and then you're like, what was the point? What was the point?
Exactly.
You just took me out of the immersion of the game to talk about some historical findings that no one cares about.
It made sense. The Animus made sense in the OG trilogy, right? Where there was an actual storyline in the modern days with actual gameplay. But ever since, they should just get rid of this entire modern day thing and the Animus.
Yep.
So, but yeah, which time period to go in? I mean, yeah, you're a Viking, basically
Yeah,
yourself. So
100%.
um,
100%. Difference is I wouldn't have my Viking be an assassin because they didn't exist.
yeah,
The closest thing you had to a Viking assassin was a berserker, which was essentially someone that was for hire. You could kind of get them to do whatever, and they would be a little bit sneaky and they would hunt people, but it's not the hunting as you would assassins would be in modern day.
agree. So for me, I mean, there are a lot of different interesting periods in time, right? And a lot of those have already been visited. Odyssey is one, ancient Greece, um, obviously. But I would personally, if I personally could go back in time, would really like to see what was the life really like in the early medieval times, right? Because we know
Terrible.
I know it
Scurvy.
was terrible.
It's terrible. Scurvy all over the place.
Yeah. So
Covered in mud.
like
Not
the
great.
11 or 1200th century,
The plague.
somewhere there, um, uh, in somewhere in that time period, it's I wouldn't like to go there as like a peasant or something. I would need to be a noble,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that would be a time period that we do not really know that much about, and I would really like to experience that. Yeah. So Dutch, with that, let's wrap the show up. Um, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who joined us here live today. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who listens after the fact on the podcast services, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening, or of course here on YouTube. But Dutch, before we let everyone out of here, anything you would like to address?
No. Again, at the moment, it's just chilling. I might, when Halo officially launches, I might do a little streamy poo when that comes out, but that won't be anything fancy. I'll just stream directly to Twitch.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how busy I am.
Yeah. All right. Good. So we will be back next week here on the World of Gaming. I hope to do a video next week again as well. Other than that, I do hope you guys have an awesome weekend ahead. Play some games. I mean, there's plenty to play. A lot of people will probably already be jumping into Halo. So hope you guys enjoy that. And yeah, we hope to see you guys back next Thursday. And don't forget to game on.